Story. My name is Keisha Hurd. Um, and my journey of infertility is a little bit on the awkward side, in my opinion, more so on the unique side. Um, I am a 33-year-old African American woman. And my journey of infertility started, I will say, when I met my husband when I was 19. Um, I got married fairly young, and with us trying for children, just kind of sensed that something was wrong because we didn't have any kids by year 5 of our marriage. So went to the doctor and everything to see what was wrong, and found out, as many of you know, that or if you know someone that has experienced infertility, some of us suffer from a condition called PCOS. It stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it makes it incredibly hard to get pregnant. Um, Also, I have been diagnosed with another illness called adenomyosis, which the only cure to adenomyosis is to get pregnant, but it makes it hard to get pregnant. Um, so immediately started um, infertility treatments. Um, at the time, I was 26. My husband was 3 years older than me, so he was 28. I'm sorry, he was 29. So immediately started treatments. Went through 2 rounds of insemination. For those of you who don't know what insemination is, it is basically where they insert the man's sperm directly into the cervix. Went through 2 rounds of that. It was unsuccessful. And then a miracle happened. And I end up getting pregnant on my own twice. Unfortunately, we didn't make it past month 3 with both of those pregnancies. So we geared up to now do IVF. We were using, I believe it was Dr. Charles Miller. He's one of the, in my opinion, one of the best infertility doctors in Illinois, located in Naperville. So I'm like, okay, we got the best of the best doctors. This is gonna be amazing. So we were gearing up for IVF, um, and the worst of the worst happened. Um, did the medications, everything, and 2 days before the 2 days before the procedure, my husband passed away. I was 29 at the time, and he was 31, and he passed of alcoholism. So just if you can get a little mental picture of the stress that I was under, trying to have a baby, both young, my husband struggling with addiction issues, and you know myself, or feeling some type of way because my body is not doing what God created it to do. Um, and then I finally get the opportunity. I'm right at the door of motherhood, in my opinion, and I lose my spouse at 29. So I can definitely remember calling the doctor that Monday and having to explain to them, I won't be there. My partner is no longer here. And of course there was shock, like, we just saw you guys this Friday, everything was okay, and um, but later on down the line, found out my husband had passed of a heart attack. So yeah, so it just, I had to make a decision to put motherhood on hold. And when you're so close to it, and when you've, like, you know had it knock at your door a few times, and it's just like, really, God, this is what we're doing. Why would you let me get this close to being a parent, giving me my heart's desire since I was 15. I wanted to be a mom since I was 15. I know that's like super young, but I don't know. I've just always wanted to be a mother. And got close to it, and I felt like God just snatched it away from me. But now being 4 years in, I definitely understand the reasonings, and why certain things don't happen in the timing that we want them to happen in. Everything happens in God's timing, not when we try to force things to happen outside of their timing. So, put motherhood on hold. Um, this is 2019. My husband passed in March of 2019. So, um, put it on hold, and then get about 2 years in, and then get diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So I'm like, okay, God, here's another punch in the stomach. Like, stuff keeps happening that affects my ability to be a mother, and I'm a raised in the church. I have my own relationship with God, and I'm like, I know what you promised me, and this is not what you promised me. And it was just another test, another mountain that I had to climb over. Like, what I promised you, so you gotta trust me. You gotta trust that I got this, and I got you, and things are going to fall in line as they should. So um being grateful they caught the cancer in time before it spread it and everything, and I was okay. um about a year later, had another scare with ovarian cancer. um Everything was fine. um but I'm still like, okay, I okay, God, what's the timing in this? I'm still not a mom. I'm still, what are we doing? And it still was like, nope, you gotta trust me. This is not going to happen when you want it to happen. So now, fast forward to, we're in 2023 now. So fast forward to about 3 months ago. Um, I reconnected with a young lady who I actually met around the time that I had met my husband. Me and her had lost touch and everything, and I kept noticing her speak out on social media about having a son and not being able to care for him. And you know she basically she didn't want him anymore. And the first couple of times I ignored it, um and I saw it again, and I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on with this. So, I reached out to her, and we end up talking, and she's like, well, yeah, it's just not the ideal situation for me and my baby, and this is not the life that I had planned for him, and I just feel like he deserves better. And back in the day, she knew my husband, she knew a lot of our struggles and stuff. Me and him were very vocal about our journey of infertility. We had our own YouTube channel, and we documented everything, because I'm a firm believer in just not being afraid to share your journey, or your story. You never know, who else it'll help. You never know who else is going through something that or going through something similar, that they can use some type of encouragement. Or you never know, you know you might need encouragement, and they might be going through the same thing, and like, oh, well, yeah, I did this and this and this, and then that helps you. So she knew a lot of what we were going through, and she was like, well, yeah, the situation is, I am looking into adoption and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I asked, could I come meet her son? um Meeting her son turned into me taking him home the same night. um so now I have had a 1-year old in my care for almost 3 months now. And never in a million years did I think that this was going to happen um, like this. I think I was so set on, well, if it didn't come from my husband, even after he was gone, it was like, well, no, it didn't come from my husband. So I just gave up the journey. I just was like, well, I guess it's just never going to happen for me. And 4 years later, being blessed with a beautiful 1 year old, um, who has completely changed my life for the better. Um, I'm a new mom, and it is definitely something I didn't see in the cards this way. Um, and yeah, I love being a mom. It's a struggle, because I'm doing it by myself. I didn't ever see myself doing it by myself, but things happen, like I said, the way God wants them to happen. Um, I am still a believer that I will still have biological children. I know what God promised me, and God don't go back on His word. It just happens in His own divine timing when it's supposed to happen. Um, and you know, the Bible says God gives us the desires of our heart. So, I do believe that I will eventually get remarried. And I do believe that God will bless us with children, meaning more than one. Um, but I think my 1 year old is preparation for that. Um, Seeing what it's like to be a mom, getting a dose of what motherhood really is. I tap my hat off to single mothers because it's not easy. Um, but I definitely know that, my husband's looking down on me and smiling and just like, man, like you doing this, Keisha? Like you doing something that me and you always wanted to do. And although I'm not here anymore, you're still moving forward with your journey. Um, it is still a very active journey. I still have things that I battle that go against my fertility. I still have to deal with the PCOS. It goes and it comes. I still have to deal with the adenomyosis that goes and it comes. And then I was recently diagnosed with uterine fibroids. So all that still attacking my fertility and what God promised me. Um, so for the listeners, I just want to encourage you, and just tell you, just don't give up. Just just because a doctor tells you that you need to have a hysterectomy or you're never going to have children, God has the final say so, and I'm living proof of that. Um, it's just everything happens in its own time. I have a beautiful 1 year old, and like I said, I do believe that eventually God will bless me with my own biological children, and I won't have to go through fertility treatments or anything. Um, it's just a matter of just trusting Him, which is what I'm going to continually do, as well as deal with the natural side of things and making sure that I'm staying on top of everything that I've been diagnosed with. So definitely stay encouraged. Um, and hang in there. It, it's definitely not the end. And I'm living proof of that. Just because one journey ends doesn't mean that there's a new one that doesn't start. So stay encouraged.